This might be their best Explorer yet. The Ford Explorer has always been a staple in the three-row SUV market. It actually outsells many of its competitors. They initially did the Tremor name back in 2002 with a Ford Ranger, which definitely isn't the Tremor that we know today. The off-road variants, well, that came in 2020 with, well, the Ford Super Duty. Then it expanded the market from F-150 to the Maverick, and of course, now to the Explorer as well. Hello, my name is Jimmy, and this is the 2026 Ford Explorer Tremor. And this is without that almost $12,000 ultimate package to get the V6 under the hood. Yes, that is the same V6 as the ST, but here we only get a 4-cylinder, and it's more than adequate. So let me tell you everything you need to know about it, starting with the looks. On the front end, well, everything's been tremorized. You got the off-road lights right in the center. Surrounding that, you got the electric spice gold panels, and you see a lot more of that, not only down below on the tow hooks, but also on the wheels on the side. It's definitely a nice looking front end, and yes, that is a real steel skid plate down below. No plastic here. On the side, we get these 18-inch wheels with that electric spice accent, of course. Bridgestone AT tires. The Tremor's also raised a little bit thanks to its off-road suspension, making it a little bit more capable. There is increased approach as well as departure angle. The bits and pieces, they're a little bit blacked out, like the mirror caps, the roof rails, and the window surrounds. What's nice is you get proximity door locks on the front doors as well as on the rear. That's a nice choice. On the back, you get more of that electric spice gold accents right on the bottom. A class 3 hitch receiver for 5,000 pounds, so you can tow your boat, RV, whatever you need. The LED tail lamps, that was redesigned last year in 2025, and I still think it actually looks really good today. Overall, the exterior of the new Tremor is a nice upgrade. Yes, it's very similar to like the Timberline that we had on the previous generation of the Explorer, but the Tremor just fits a little bit better. If I pop open the trunk here, well, it's not bad. With 16.3 cubic feet of space behind the third row, it's decent for this class. There is a little bit more underfloor storage, which is nice as well. And of course you can, well, toss this away if you want and just have more vertical space. Stroller, big gallon of milk, I don't know. Whatever it is that you need to carry for your family needs, the Explorer should be able to handle it. And if you need more space with a button right on the side, well, it electronically folds down that third row and expands to 46 cubic feet. Of course, you can go around, fold down the second row to give you more space if you need. But let's bring that back up to show you how much space there is in that third row. While the doors do open nice and wide, so you got good access to the cabin, well, if you have a child seat like I do here, this can't tumble like some other vehicles can. The only way to get to the third row is, well, either take the seat out or go around, which is possible if you have a forward-facing seat, but not the prettiest. And then once you're back here, well, if you're an adult, I'm 5'11", you're okay. Headroom is nothing to complain about, but your knees are definitely higher than you like. You can move the second row forward to give yourself a little bit more legroom if they're willing to sacrifice theirs, but it's not bad. I mean, it's only for 2 people back here, unlike 3 on some other 3-row SUVs, so it's not as squished side to side. You do get some USB-C ports on the side and ventilation on the top, which is definitely preferred. But preferred is up 1 row, so let's go there. As for the second row here, you know what, it's not bad. Headroom, nothing to complain about. Legroom it's okay. I mean, there are some others which have like expansive amounts of legroom, but this, my knees aren't touching the front seats. It's absolutely acceptable in here. And of course, like I said, you can slide this fore and aft. So if you do have anyone in the back, you can accommodate for them a little bit more And of course, you can tilt the seat back just to be a little bit more comfortable. The seats themselves, they're heated, which is nice, but you don't get ventilation. This isn't the Palisade. And there's no blinds on the side. But you know what? The windows are tinted. It's okay. What's missing, though, is a panoramic sunroof. Because of the Tremor, well, you can't get it when paired with the 4-cylinder. If you get the 6-cylinder, which comes in a full package of $12,000, then you can get the sunroof. And, of course, other things. But you can't spec it with the 4-cylinders. You're just left with this, which I kind of get. It's a Tremor, so you probably want to throw like a roof rack, maybe a rooftop tent, and you don't want a sunroof. But for those that just wants a sunroof, why can't you just give me that option? Anyways, let's move up front. Up front, pretty comfortable. The seats, they have this like cloth insert in the middle, which for an off-roady version, I thought they'll use like maybe a vinyl or leather, something that's a little bit easier to wipe down, but it is what it is. The seats are heated and cooled, which is a nice surprise. However, only a 2-way lumbar support on the driver's side, same with the passenger. No 4-way option here. And no, it's not one of those super adjustable Lincoln seats neither. But you know what? For the comfort for this vehicle, absolutely fine. In front of me, typical Ford steering wheel with your typical Ford buttons. Of course, you get that gold stitching on the inside. Behind that, you get a full digital cluster, which is quite adaptable and does show you quite a bit of, well, everything that you need to know about driving your vehicle, including fuel consumption, your Apple Maps, and all that good stuff. The infotainment was updated last year. It's now the standard landscape layout, unlike, well, the previous generation where it was portrait. It just looked a little bit weird. Everything is now baked into this screen. Of course, your climate controls right on the bottom. Of course, there's wireless CarPlay and Android Auto as well. And it is full Google. So you got Google Maps, a Google Play Store, and of course, Google Assistant. So it is actually quite helpful as you get on your day. You do get a dedicated volume knob down the bottom and a few physical buttons just to the side of that to control some of the more general aspects of the vehicle. And that's really all the buttons that you get, because the rest is pretty empty. Of course, you got your shifter in the center and you got your drive mode, but that's really it. There's no just an array of buttons that you had before, which is fine. It cleans things up. It does look a little bit more premium in here compared to the previous generation. Under the hood, you get two options. You either get the 4-cylinder, as I have here, or you can option, like I said, for $12,000, the V6. But it is a good V6. It's the same one that's in the ST, making 400 horsepower and 415 pound-feet of torque. But this, well, this 2.3 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder, it makes 300 horsepower and 310 pound-feet. Mated to that, it's a 10-speed automatic and all-wheel drive. Now, before you just go ahead and say, get the V6, I do agree with you. The 4-cylinder is not bad. Put your foot down in, it's decent. I mean, it's the same motor that they put in the Mustang. And if it's good enough for the Mustang, it's decent, let's say, for the Explorer. Now, yes, the V6 is going to be a whole lot quicker, obviously, and 400 horsepower sounds nice. But the 2.3 is, well, it's more economical. And today's gas prices, well, the 2.3 is just it's just a little bit better. It really is. What's nice for the Tremor is out back, well, the rear diff has been replaced with the Torsen limited slip. Unlike every other model of the Explorer where it's an open diff, you get a Torsen limited slip diff, which actually makes it a little bit more engaging. However, you do have to like push it pretty hard, and if you're driving on loose surfaces, you're going to feel it. However, most people wouldn't, so it's one of those, it's really nice to have, but you probably won't experience it unless you drive on slippery conditions constantly. Unless you do that, you probably won't utilize it all too much. What you will utilize is, well, the available Blue Cruise. This Explorer has been fitted with it, and because of that, I can activate it on the highway, do full-on hands-off driving, which is nice. Because other than, well, the GMC Acadia AT4, which is very similar to this, you don't have that feature on, well, the Palisade XRT or anything similar to that. So it's definitely a nice feature to have, and if you're commuting a lot, or even if you're like gonna be driving it for longer journeys and whatnot, it's a very nice feature. Just full off hands-off driving. Why not? Dynamically, well, with the lifted ride height, you actually don't feel it all that much. The thing that you feel the most is just the AT tires. It's lack of grip. Now, when I say lack of grip, I don't mean that in a negative way. It just, well, you get to that point of grip just a little bit sooner, making it a little bit more fun, because you just you hear what's going on with the tires. So while yes, you can't corner as fast as like the ST would, you just get notified that you're on the edges of grip a little bit sooner, which it has its own entertainment value to it, which I do like. What I don't really like is just the price point. As equipped here, it's like 70,000 Canadian dollars, which is a pretty penny. It really is. However, I mean, $70,000 seems like a lot of money, but in today's world, everything is around there. I mean, the Pilot with the Trail Sport, it is actually a really good package. That's 65,000 Canadian, so it is a little bit less. However, here, yes, it's a 4-cylinder as base, but you can get a turbocharged V6, 400 horsepower. I mean, there's a lot of competitors in this market. Like I mentioned earlier, the Acadia with the AT4, you got like the Pilot, you got the Palisade, you got the Telluride. Everyone has a 3-row SUV these days, and everyone has that off-roady trim. But it seems like, well, here at least, they try to make it with actual off-road goodies, like a steel skid plate, which is something that I don't think any other ones have. I think the AT4 does, but that's it. I mean, if you're really taking it off-road, you definitely want to protect the underbody of your vehicle, and a steel skid plate is gonna be the thing that does it. In any case, thank you so much for watching this video. Like the video if you do, subscribe if you want to see more. Let me know what your thoughts are on the new Tremor. I think it's actually a really good trim for all of their Ford products. I mean, if they bring back the Focus, are they going to do a Focus Tremor? Maybe a Mustang Tremor. A Mustang Tremor would be kind of cool. 5-liter V8 lifted like a rally Mustang. I don't know. Maybe we should like comment down below, tag Ford, be like, hey, we want a Mustang Tremor. Any case, thank you so much for watching, and have a great day. Take care.